All right, so recently Conor McGregor's had a bit to say about Dustin Poirier. I think he's got a little bit of jealousy out of the action. Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler have been going back and forward on Twitter for a bit. It started with Chandler saying, please retire to Dustin Poirier, and Poirier basically cooking him back a little bit. Says that he hasn't even been in the UFC for that long. He's not one of them being a UFC fighter. He went on Ariel Helwani's podcast and said that Chandler hasn't been active since he whooped him and choked him out, and that Chandler's basically retired himself. He's wasting his career waiting for this Conor McGregor fight when Dustin's already fought him 3 times. I think Dustin really wins this one when it comes down to it. I'm going to be real. I reckon that Chandler fighting Dustin as Dustin's retirement match, Dustin will win, and Chandler gets a quick money fight in between him and McGregor. I think that is risky for Chandler though, because Conor McGregor could still just go, nah, fuck Chandler. He's fighting Dustin, and then just take a fight against someone else. I could definitely see McGregor doing that, especially if it's up the rankings and closer to a belt. But that sort of led on to Conor McGregor must have felt left out, because he just joined in on Dustin and Chandler going back and forward and started calling Dustin a scammer, saying that his foundation isn't a real thing, and that nobody should want to buy the shorts that he lost his most important fight in. I think it's a bit of a low blow, and I think nobody should really pay attention to what Conor McGregor's saying until we get another date booked for him. But that's my opinion. I think Conor's just sitting there drinking, yapping on Twitter. I don't think we really need to pay any attention to it. When it comes to Chandler though, I fucking feel bad for the guy, but at the same time, Dustin's right. He said on Ariel's podcast that Michael Chandler has got Dana White privilege and that he'll be taken care of even if this McGregor fight doesn't happen. So I guess you can have some solace in that, and that's why and that's why Chandler seems to be so set on fighting McGregor, because he knows he'll be taken care of regardless. I'm not sure if Conor is trying to bait Dustin into another fight instead of Chandler, or if he's just fucking with Chandler more by going back and forward with Dustin and not really letting him know what he's going to do. So, bit of a confusing week when it comes to Conor McGregor and Dustin Chandler's sort of love triangle. So, I reckon we just fucking ignore what Conor McGregor's got to say until we get another date booked. And yeah, we'll see how that pans out. But I think this Chandler fight and Conor McGregor's going to go ahead. Don't know when, and I think Chandler's probably going to retire shortly after as well. But yeah, hopefully it all works out for Chandler. Full Mount MMA has also reported that John Jones might be forced to fight Tom Aspinall, that the UFC might be forced to book it if Tom Aspinall beats Blades. DC said, I believe it was on the Good Guy, Bad Guy podcast with Chael, Full Mount MMA put it on their daily video or whatever, DC talking about it, said that if Tom beats Blades convincingly, like just knocks him out first round or subs him first round, whatever happens, UFC won't have any other option but to book Jones versus Aspinall. That being said, if the UFC books Jones versus Stipe before UFC 304, then I think they can get away with it and John will be able to fight Stipe and retire. However, if the UFC doesn't get a date done for Jones versus Stipe, Aspinall knocks out Curtis Blades in the first round, or just overall just has a dominant performance, doesn't look like he's in trouble, and looks like the heavyweight champion, before there's a date booked, I think Tom can get this fight with Jones. He gets on the mic after, calls Jones out for being a bitch, for being a cheat. Just fucking cook John Jones, right? Don't give him any other option but to respond and look like a bitch online if he refuses to fight, right? Force him to do it. Call him out on the mic after you win, Tom. You will get this fight. You will. As long as it hasn't been booked already, mate, we're going to see you knock out John Jones, Tom. So it's going to be great. That being said, I think John knows that he needs to beat Tom Aspinall to cement his legacy as the greatest of all time. Without the steroid accusations and sort of we all know that he did it, but without it being confirmed, I guess he can sort of get away with it for a lot of casuals. And after robbing Dominic Reyes as well in that last light heavyweight fight, I think he knows that people are sort of questioning him a lot more, and the questions aren't going to go away when he retires either. He's going to have to live with that forever, along with those choices that he made outside of the octagon, which makes it a lot harder for people to want to acknowledge him as the GOAT, simply because he's such a horrible person, allegedly. But yeah, I think UFC 304, Tom Aspinall gets on the mic, calls out John Jones, calls him a bitch, calls him a cheat. I reckon we can get that fight booked. So what we can take away from today's video: shut the fuck up, Conor McGregor. Dustin Poirier, keep doing what you're doing. You're winning the shit talk battles online. You have done more than Chandler, and you've beat McGregor. You've got a one-up over both of them. Chill for now. Take a good fight down the line. I think Volk's calling you out. There's a few different things you can do. You don't even need to fight again, to be honest, man. And Tom Aspinall, UFC 304, call out John Jones, demolish Curtis Blades, and we'll see you as the heavyweight champion very shortly. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.